Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dribbz Talks podcast. We're bringing it to you real, raw and uncut. A safe place where we can talk about anything and everything. So like, share and subscribe. But most importantly, keep it locked. Everything's gonna be just fine. Everything's gonna be okay. Just take one step at a time. That's what the leaflets say. Yes, people, welcome back to another episode of Dribbz Talks, the podcast where we explore some of life's many different individuals from all walks of life. And today, I'm pleased to bring you a lady that's been a friend of our families for many, many years. And boy, does she have a story. Her name's Bekki Lloyd. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Are you a little nervous?
Tiny bit.
Just a tiny bit. I was nervous beforehand. I was saying to you and I, before we went on air, like, I can talk about music, I can talk about mental health, but this particular topic, I have absolutely no idea. And I've researched before you know, you've come down. I have done a bit of research. Last night I was up till late researching all about it. My wife, you know, Beck was like, you getting some ideas here? I'm like, no, it's just so I know roughly what Beck's going to explain.
It's about.
Exactly. Right then, so for the benefit of my listeners, can you just give them a quick introduction, Beck, about yourself, where you're from originally?
Oh God.
Come on, let's go for it.
So I'm Bekki, I'm 38. I've grown up in Telford area most of my life. I'm a single mom of 4 crazy kids. I work for the NHS, sort of as a nurse and a health visitor.
There you go. Need you say any more? So basically, Beck has her hands full on a daily basis, bless her. And you've got your cats and dogs.
Oh yeah,
Can't
I forgot
forget them.
that
Come
then.
on,
Yeah, I've got
mention
7 cats, nearly 3 dogs and 2 rabbits.
There you go. Bekki
How
is
did I forget them?
the original Miss Dr. Doolittle, she is. Well, I want to say firstly, Beck, congratulations, because you are the first female on the Dribbz Talks podcast.
Oh, nice.
So get a round of applause on that one, mate. No pressure there, but you're doing it for the ladies, all right?
Oh, nice.
I've got a few lined up, but you are the first one in the podcast, mate, so that's great. So there's a lot to cover in this podcast, mate, related to the topic of surrogacy. But as with every podcast, I like to simplify these topics that we discuss. So can you explain to my listeners who may not have even heard of the term surrogacy a little brief description on what this is?
Oh gosh.
Can be as simple as you like, mate.
So basically, surrogacy involves straight couples and same-sex couples who can't have a child themselves. Obviously, 2 blokes, it's a bit obvious. Obviously straight couples, it can be for a number of reasons which sort of open my eyes, which is one where a woman's born without a womb, so she's got her ovaries work, so she can have her own eggs, but obviously she can't grow a baby. And also cancer, some ladies can't have babies once they've had cancer.
Of course, yeah, I didn't even think of that. Wow.
Yeah, so it's quite.
See, when you say it opens your eyes, yeah, I bet it does, because, like, I mean, I would have gone into the whole surrogacy thinking it'd just be same-sex couples.
Yeah.
That it's impossible for them to have a child. But yeah, there's so many more reasons to why people can't have children, isn't there?
Yeah, and also, like, there's lesbian couples as well,
of course,
because they can't carry, so
yeah, a number of reasons then. Definitely a number of reasons. Now, I know that you're going to mention so many abbreviations. So we need to treat my listeners as complete newbies to this when it comes to surrogacy. Now, I don't want you to name all of them, because I'm sure you'd be here all night, but just give me some examples of some of the more well-known abbreviations and just explain them.
Okay, so probably the main one is IPs, which stands for intended parents. Then you'll have an IM, which is intended mother, an IF, intended father, and then another term is a GTK, which is the first sort of stage of surrogacy, which is the get to know, when a surrogate offers to a couple, and that's the get to know, which is sort of where you have a minimum of 3 months. It can be extended to get to know each other and see if you're on the same page before you sort of become a team.
Mm-hmm. And do you think they're the most common abbreviations when it comes to surrogacy then?
top of my head.
Yeah. You did say to me before we went on air that you're going to try your hardest to explain them all, to actually say the full pronunciations, aren't you, as opposed to just the abbreviations.
Oh yes. Oh yeah, definitely. I won't be that harsh.
Brilliant. If you do the abbreviations, please forgive me, but I might pull you up on it and go, what does that one mean?
No, that's fine.
Because some of the listeners won't know. Do you know what I mean?
That's fine.
Nah, that's great. So roughly then, Beck, how long has it been now since you first made the decision to become a surrogate?
So I think it was back in 2018, and I read a women's health magazine which talked about egg donor. So
Keep going,
an egg donor. So I thought, my eggs are quite healthy, so I thought I'll just donate my eggs. So I looked into it, and then there's the complications that your children need to be made aware that they might have like half like genetic siblings out there. And I just thought, I don't really fancy that. And I just thought, you know what, I'll just be a surrogate, so I don't have to have any like genetic link with the child. That's just reminded me some abbreviations. So you can be a host surrogate or a gestational surrogate, which is a GS surrogate, where the egg's not yours. It's either a donor egg or it's the intended mother's egg. Mm-hmm. So I think I reached out in 2020 to like join an organisation, and I just thought it's not ideal time for me. And then the end of I think it was October 22, I thought, I need to do this. So I joined the organisation and became a member in January, which is Surrogacy UK, SUK for short. So I became a member in January 23, and then I offered a get to know with a same-sex couple, which sort of I decided to end. And then I got in another get to know with some guys in September 23. Had a great time, and then we started the clinic process in January 24.
Okay.
So
wow, you got a good memory there. Jeez. Okay, so as with most of my podcasts, I like to take things like way back to the very start of each of my guest journeys now. So I want to know, was being a surrogate something that you always aspired to do?
I think obviously from the egg donating bit, and then I looked into the surrogacy bit, and I just thought, you know what, I've had 4 healthy pregnancies, healthy births. It's quite easy, and I just thought there's people out there who aren't as lucky as me, and I just thought, you know what, I can do this.
Yeah.
So
that is a lovely thing to do, mate. It really is. So was there something on the TV or the radio that you seen that made you I mean, you mentioned about the magazine, I suppose, didn't you?
I don't know really. I think at the time when I was first looking into it, there was a documentary on the BBC iPlayer.
Okay.
And I watched that, but then obviously I didn't go through with it that moment, so I don't know really.
But do you think that might have just sparked an interest, at least?
Yeah, I think it sort of showed you the breakdown of the actual process and how it could be.
Yeah. Now you mentioned that you originally did nursing, am I right in saying that?
Yes.
Okay, so I know you worked hard to get qualified for that. Now, did you witness any moments in that area of work where you was around surrogacy?
I did actually. There was a family. I have to be careful what I say. Family on the unit, but it didn't really hit me then. Actually, there was obviously a same-sex couple who had twins via a surrogate. Yeah, it didn't really hit me, the complications that came along with that while I was on the unit, but yeah.
Is there a form of training that's it sounds crazy, doesn't it? Because I'm talking as a newbie, like please understand that I do not know nothing about this, but I'm keen to know. Do you know what I mean? I'm keen to hear about this, and like I know a lot of my listeners will be as well, because there's so many of my different listeners that are from all walks of life. Do you know what I mean? Male, female, just so many different people. So I think that if one person can relate to it, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was there a form of training that goes alongside it? I mean, would you call it training? Is there different words for it?
I'm trying to think. obviously, when you're applying to be a surrogate, you have an application form, and then your GP has to sort of sign you off, sort of mentally and everything. And then you have, I can't remember, it's called an MA session. I can't remember what it stands for.
Okay.
Members something session. And you speak, as a surrogate, you speak to another surrogate, and they sort of like give you lots of information, and sort of you ask questions, but obviously when you're starting, you don't really know what to ask.
Yeah, I suppose so.
It's so new.
I mean, the good thing, I suppose, with speaking to other people that have been through that journey is, I mean, I like to think that they could give you the positives, but they could also be real and give you some negatives. But I suppose if you don't know the questions to ask in the first place, it's a little tricky, isn't it?
Yeah. And there's also, they have a conference, an annual conference, where you can go along, and they've got like little workshops, and you can meet surrogates and intended parents from all over the UK. They come from Scotland, they come from down south, they come from Ireland.
Wow.
I think there's a few that sort of live abroad as well that come in as well. So would you
have your mental state and your capacity assessed to check whether you're fully ready to go through with having a baby for someone else?
I think it's more just the GP going off your medical records.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like no one sort of like does like a medical on you.
So you weren't sat with a counsellor or anything like that?
No.
That surprises me. That surprises me.
They do, like with SUK, they are sort of pushing for the counselling side of it, especially when you're going through a journey in pregnancy now as well. I think that's quite a key area that they've like identified over the years that they need. Is
there an expectation to have had your own children before you're able to do surrogacy, or can anyone decide to do it?
Anyone can decide to do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's one lady who's got no children, and I think she's currently pregnant with her fifth surrogate baby.
Wow.
Yeah, so
But effectively, she's got no children of her own.
Yeah.
Although some would say, well, she has got children, but yeah, it's a grey area, isn't it? It's a grey area.
Yeah.
You know, some people could say like, yeah, I've got a child. It's not my child, but I still gave birth to that child. But yeah, I guess different people see it in different ways, maybe.
Yes, I think I sort of don't really pay attention to all the negatives, but I know there's like a lot of negativity towards surrogacy, and like the terms, like as a surrogate, there's the term of surrogate mother, which I don't see myself as a mother.
No.
Through a surrogate at all, because I do not want the child.
Yeah.
My worst nightmare.
Yeah. And listeners, that's not Beck being cold-hearted. Like, you know, she does what she set out to do, and when that baby goes into, you know, that family, that's kind of your job done, isn't it, to a certain extent? Am I right in saying that?
Yeah. Yes. For like the parenting side, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Okay, so from your initial first contact with inquiring to be a surrogate, and then to finding your first couple, how long roughly was the whole process? That isn't including like the 9 months of carrying the baby.
So, with my first...
I'm testing you here, Beck.
I'm
sorry.
So I joined, I can't remember, end of Jan, and then I offered to some guys. We went for a 3-month get to know. We did our initial clinic appointment in the May, I think, April-May time, and then obviously the June I ended the team, and then I offered again in the September to I'm sure they won't mind me mentioning Rob and Lawrence, and then we had to have an extended GT get to know for 4 months as was. So then we were able to do something called an agreement. So that's sort of a long document that covers everything, sort of some not very nice subjects, sort of like who's going to be at the birth, who's going to what is it, if anything happened to the parents before I get taken off the birth certificate, who's going to be like the special guardian, and then like terminations, what would they be happy to terminate, and then it's sort of making sure during the get to know that they might want to terminate if the child had a high risk of Down syndrome, but then I might be against that. So obviously that would have to just end the get to know, because obviously you need to be on the same page the like.
So that's all set out and planned out before you go down the road of the surrogacy, yeah? Am I right in saying that? Because surely once you're pregnant, and then if you were to say, I would like to terminate if there's a strong chance of like Down syndrome.
Yeah.
You've already got.
So I should have mentioned this.
No, it's okay. It's all right.
So when you offer a get to know to a couple, I have a profile that they view, which has like loads of deal breakers.
Get you.
So it might say, I don't know, I'm against vaccinations, or I'll refuse to have vaccinations during the pregnancy, which I'm not. I'm very pro vaccinations. I don't know, just I don't want to breastfeed the child, or I do want to breastfeed the child. I want skin to skin as soon as the child's born. I don't want skin to skin as soon as the child's born.
Wow, it covers loads, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's very complex.
Yeah.
And then obviously they decide off my profile if they think, oh, actually, we want to get to know her more.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, you pick intended parents from their profiles, which also are able to access, and it's something that they've written about themselves, and it might come across as their personality might come across in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry, it's a bit.
I get you. So when you decided to get into surrogacy, are you allowed? I think I pretty much know the answer to this question, because there's equality in every walk of life and everything that we do. But are you allowed to have certain niches of parents that you might want to help? For example, same sex, like you said, cancer patients, or is it just overall, and you kind of can't be biased in any way?
Oh no, it's down to the surrogate, because obviously everyone's got their own views about different things, and obviously some surrogates have got children, so it's sort of making sure that their children would be happy as well. So like with Faith and Will, my older two, they sort of met Rob and Lawrence, and they all sort of had that bond of them anyway, and they like them, which is important, because it'd be a bit of a struggle if the kids didn't like them. So
yeah, definitely. I suppose when you're working as a team, you've all got to be on side, aren't you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If your kids were against them in any way, then it would make the whole process just... wouldn't be nice, would it? It wouldn't be nice. And I suppose you wouldn't have quite as a positive outcome either.
No, because they'll probably just want to run. Especially with Faith. She's going to hate me for saying that now.
Oh, Faith's lovely. What are you talking about? Faith's one of my biggest fans with his music.
I know.
Honestly, bless her. Every time I go live, boom, Faith's watching.
I bet she's looking, thinking this is live
play
now.
Play this track, Dribbz, play this track. And I'm like, bless her. Yeah, I love that.
Oh,
okay, so when you... so how much do you have to declare when you're becoming a surrogate? Like, do they look into your family history and like your physical health and your mental health?
I think it's like I said before, it's just basically from that GP report. But then obviously once you go into a team, you have to sort of like do the clinic appointments, so it's more scans, I think, if I can remember, with the clinics. But obviously they still have to sort of make sure that you're well, and that you understand that you're being... Some of the clinics are quite, what's the word? Thorough in making sure that you're fully aware. Because I think some clinics are a bit... surrogacy is a bit of a... What's the word? Bit more complicated to like an IVF, there's some of them are a bit more thorough.
Do you find that there's, I mean, you mentioned about them being harder than others, do you find that there's some that like try and sell you the dream, like, oh, it's amazing, like it's a package, almost like a business package? Do you know what I mean? Like, this sounds so good, come and do this, you'll get the X, Y and Z, without telling you about some of the complications that can happen and that. Yes,
I think the first time round the doctor did scare me a little bit. He was a bit too... Yeah. But then the second clinic that I went to, which was literally the same clinic, was a lot... they were just amazing. Like, the staff were just amazing. I don't know if I can say who they are.
Yeah, that's fine. No, don't worry. How did your existing children and your friends and family react to you wanting to do this?
Well, family weren't very as supportive. I think friends were just like, yeah, Becky's crazy.
Yeah, we all know you're crazy, Beck. There literally isn't many things that you could do, and it wouldn't surprise us.
Well, I know,
Do you know what I mean? Like, you're having another dog. It's like, well, that's Bekki's having another dog. Do you know what I mean? It's just you. It is great. It makes you who you are. Like, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but yeah, there probably isn't much that you wouldn't do that it wouldn't surprise us. Do you know what I mean?
No.
And I guess if they're your real mates, then they'll stick on board regardless.
Oh, yeah.
Regardless to what they think behind closed doors, they'll still support you the best they can.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
I think so anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Okay, so was you ever met with any negativity when telling people about this? You don't have to go into detail about who, but was you ever met with anything like that?
Yeah, I think probably just my certain family member wasn't too happy about it, but that's just the way they are, so.
Yeah. No. Okay. Was there a part of you initially that thought that you may have great difficulty, like, passing over this child that's grown inside you for so long?
Oh God, no.
Was it not?
No. I just thought it's not my child, it's not my genetics. I don't think it matters anyway, because I'm just like, I'm completely done with, also not owning a child, yeah, like having to the responsibility of having to look after another child and bring it up into the world. Like, I'm done.
And start from the start, babies and that.
Just, yeah, nappies, night feeding, weaning, potty training. No, I can't do that again, ever again.
Yeah. So it's probably quite a relief when they take them away at the end of the day. It's just
it was so nice. When she was born, I was like, yep, right, went to bed for 11 hours.
Nice.
In another side room. And I slept. It's amazing.
Whereas most moms would be doing
the
feeds every couple of hours. You know, you've been there. You know what it's like.
It's amazing.
Nah, nice. I like that. Do you think that you almost have to, like, detach yourself from all emotions when you go into surrogacy, or do you still need to keep a level of emotions? I mean, I'm guessing you need empathy and you need stuff and caring and stuff. There's probably a few emotions that you have to have on board to be able to relate to other people and to make the whole process. You couldn't just be cold with a swinging brick for a heart. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. When I got pregnant and I was carrying, well, I didn't know what I was having at the time. It was like, it's a weird feeling. Like, obviously I knew I had to, like, keep them safe and try and, like, be healthy and make sure they were growing well. But then that, like, I don't know, like, maternal bit of knowing it, when it's like your own child, it's different. I just know I need to just look after them as much as I can.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I don't know, it's weird really.
Okay, so when you were first looking at surrogacy, did you hear of any horror stories that made you think twice initially? Again, you don't have to go into detail, but was there anything that you thought, I'm really thinking twice about this now? Because surely there's horror stories with most things, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think there's just that worry of like, obviously bad stuff can happen when you give birth anyway. Yeah. But then that you can't really have that sort of mindset, because anything bad can happen to anyone at any point. What was I going to say? There's something in my head that I was going to say. That was it. So, like, there's always that thought thinking, oh God, we're having this baby for someone. What if they don't want the baby at the end of it?
Oh, jeez.
And then there's like that feeling of like them thinking, oh my God, what if she doesn't want to hand the baby back to us, sort of thing. So it's like you both sort of have to trust in each other. Yeah. So yeah. Is
that something that you like put your cards on the table with the chosen parents, like throughout the process, you know, or does it not really come to light?
No, I don't. I think like for outsiders and probably being new to it, you probably think that, but like the amount of effort and like heartache maybe that the intended parents have to go through, it's like that just they wouldn't put themselves through that situation to not want the child at the end of it.
Yeah, that is true.
It's so lengthy and what they have to do, and okay,
so is it like, because I know you're not, I say you're independent, you're not independent in this, because obviously you do have, like, I guess a range of services, but is it a particular company that you do, again, you don't have to mention the name, it's up to you, but is it a particular company or like an agency that you work alongside when you're doing surrogacy?
So I applied to Surrogacy UK, which is SUK, but there's like a few other surrogacy agencies that you can join as a surrogate, but then also you can have like the independent route where you just sort of just do it without an organisation.
Oh, you can do that if you wanted to?
Yeah, a lot of people do like independent journeys, so, but I just felt like I needed to be part of like a community, which is what SUK is, and it's just amazing.
So like, how do you find working alongside them throughout the process?
They sort of like a massive support network. Like there's like the surrogates that you're friends with, and also like other intended parents who just become your friend. And yeah, it's just amazing.
So you've made friends off this that, like, if you hadn't have gone down this route, you never would have crossed paths, would you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I've got more like SUK friends than I have got actual friends.
Yeah, there's nothing, mate, there's nothing wrong with that these days, honestly. I'm like back in the day, I was so paranoid about, I've got all these friends, and now I'm like, I can count 2 friends on 2 fingers, and that's I'm saying with that.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that, do you know what I mean? As I get older, I'm just like, I'm not really a people's person, to be fair, but yeah, like true friends that'll do anything for me, yeah, they're quite limited.
Oh god, yeah.
It's quality over quantity, innit? Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
It is. As you get older, man, you start to realise that, don't you? These people that you thought were your friends are just a competency.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Sack them all off.
Sack them all off. So there you go. If you want to take any bit of advice from this, sod the surrogacy. Just sack your friends off. Sack your waste of space friends off. Bex told you that, all right? Okay. So was there ever a time that you be careful? I mean, you don't have to give too much away here, but was there ever a time when you didn't feel supported throughout the process?
God, no, no.
That's good.
'Cause like Rob and Lawrence, they're just amazing people anyway, and they're so genuine and just considerate. They're just awesome.
No, that's great. That's great. Can you remember a time when you began to doubt what you were getting yourself into? No, that's good. That's positive.
I'm trying to think. No.
So I'd be interested to know if there was a time. Then what did you do to overcome this? Do you know what I mean? But if there wasn't a time, then that's a bonus.
I think it was just with the previous intended parents that I was in a team with. There was like red flags that made me think, actually no, this, I don't know, just didn't fit well, and my circumstances at the time with personal stuff wasn't best. I just thought, I'm going to back away for a bit, and then I thought actually it was a blessing in disguise that these other things had popped up. Yeah. Because then I wouldn't have helped Rob and Lawrence.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah, things happen for a reason. I truly believe that. God, to be fair, too many things happen for me that if I swerve one thing, then something amazing comes by, and I'm just like, I can't just be fluke every time. Things happen for a reason.
100%. Yeah.
No, I do generally believe that. Did you ever worry about getting a natural bond with a child that you've carried for so long?
No.
Still was focused on what you needed to do.
Yeah, just to grow them, make them healthy. And then it's like as soon as she was born, we didn't know what she was at the time, but when she was born, it was like straight on to one of the parents.
You're amazing, Beck. There needs to be more people like you in the world. Like genuinely,
it just felt like it's weird. I don't want to call her a foreign object, but it's like something like, it's like you giving birth to a child which isn't yours, and they're just plonking this random child on you. Like that just freaked me out. She had to go to a parent.
So you didn't like when they put her on you? You didn't get this.
She didn't even come on me.
Didn't she?
She literally come
them
out and straight to Rob for skin to skin.
Wow.
And I was just there with my eyes shut because it was a bit painful.
Thank God it's over. Thank God it's over. Okay, so how did you initially explain that you wanted to become a surrogate to your children? Like, did they take it well, and like, what kind of questions did they ask at the time?
Oh gosh, I can't remember now.
No.
I can't remember how I told. I don't think I told the little two till I can't remember. I think when we sort of were in the get to know, it was just like, we've got some new friends, we're going to go out and do lots of fun stuff together. And then when it was becoming near to transfer, I was sort of explaining to them, I got a book actually that was about 2 daddies and an egg donor and like a surrogate, and sort of explaining, like, obviously Rob and Lawrence can't grow a baby in their tummy because they haven't got those bits to do that, sort of as simple as possible for them. So and I was like, obviously when mommy grows it's not our baby, it's Rob and Lawrence, and like they know that, and they've even told people. I can remember going back to the hospital for like a checkup, and the little two came with me, and the midwife was like, oh, how's your baby sister and all this, and they're like, oh no, it's not our baby, it's Rob and Lawrence's baby. And they must have just like they looked at them like, oh, okay. Like, and then I explained it to them afterwards, like, oh, I was the surrogate, that's what the children meant. And they're like, oh, okay.
And I think, like, how amazing is it that, like, It's the same with us with the fostering, you know, like our kids have grown up and fostering is all they've known, and like it's opened their eyes up. Do you know what I mean? That there is a world of just it ain't just like where mom and dad just live together, have children, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? Like they know that
so diverse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because there's a whole range of children out there who don't know anything about surrogacy. I mean, let's face it, I'm almost 38. I didn't know. I knew it was about.
You don't need to know. You just don't look into it, do you?
Yeah.
Because I was the same before I even thought about doing it. You just don't.
But I think your children will obviously grow up to have better values, really, because they're gonna know that there's more to the world than just what the average parent does. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And Faith's very like LGBTQ and all that. She's so passionate about it, and when they're being taught it at like secondary school and people are laughing, think it's all. She's like, she stands up to them and she gets very
good for her. Good for her.
You can imagine.
I can imagine. Yeah, good for her. Becky always says that she's a mini me of you when you were growing up, Beck. So
really,
that's what she says to me. That's what she says to me. I don't take that as a positive or a negative. I don't know.
The person who I wish I was when I was her age. I don't know. I must have been that person already.
Maybe it was just in looks. I don't know. What are some of your favourite memories from your time of becoming a surrogate? Is there anything that particularly sticks out in your mind?
Probably when I actually did open my eyes after she was born, just the picture of Rob and Lawrence and like that emotion that I seen,
and knowing that you've contributed to help that.
Like wow. And then like over the months and like Christmas time, they send me pictures all the time of her and little videos.
I love that,
telling me what she's up to, and like the family pictures just melt me of like Lawrence's parents and brothers, and then Rob's like family and friends meeting her. It's just like
that's it, because I'm guessing it doesn't just stop at them two. It's a massive
she's
ripple.
Like a cousin,
yeah, exactly.
Granddaughter. She's like she's got like godchildren, like Rob and Lawrence's godchildren.
Yeah.
It's just like massive.
So she's massively loved, man. And
it's amazing.
Mad. Yeah, that must be a really good feeling. It really was. How was your pregnancy in general with the new baby?
So it was quite. So with like IVF, obviously like IVF treatment, so you have to do a lot of medication. So I was taking like oral tablets, pessaries and injections in my backside for 3 months. And then once that stopped, I've had like sickness continued. And then around the 28 weeks, I found out I had gestational diabetes, which I have never had before. So that was a bit of a shock. So my diet had to change.
Is that something you've managed to curb then and bring it back?
Yes. Yeah, so then I had a blood test, I think at 13 weeks post-birth, and it came back like everything was fine.
Nice.
No risk of diabetes or anything. So that was, And then the birth was just a bit long-winded because I was induced and it didn't happen as quick as it did with my own kids. So it was,
Yeah. So, okay, so let's go back to the process of, finding what was the correct term, sorry?
Intended parents.
Thank you, intended parents. If I say parents, please, if there's anyone listening that is, involved with surrogacy, please don't be offended on this, but... Okay, so with that then, how easy was the process of finding the right match of parents? Did you meet loads of different prospective parents or just one or two?
So with SUK, there's lots of socials, online socials, usually on a Friday night, or people, surrogates or intended parents, and host them like all over the UK. So I host quite a few because I'm just really nosy and like to meet lots of new people. So you meet quite a lot of people. And everyone wants to speak to you, which is really nice.
Yeah.
And then you sort of have access to like their profiles, like I said before, so you can like, it's written by them, so it's like them selling themselves, and you can sort of get a feel of who they are, and you can meet them in person, and obviously then that's when you offer if you feel like they sort of match what you're looking for. Possibly.
In the UK then, in general then, Beck, is there a massive shortage of surrogate mothers, like potential mothers, or is it something that they're overrun with and there's some everywhere in every pocket of different places?
I don't know, really.
You don't know?
No.
Okay.
Obviously there's going to be more intended parents than surrogates, but then there's some surrogates out there who've done like 11 journeys.
Yeah.
So
Because you hear of surrogates from all over the world, don't you? That can.
Yeah, so basically, like, I know America, it's more like a business.
Is it?
Yeah.
Right.
So but in the UK, it's illegal to pay for a surrogate. You're not paid to be a surrogate. You just have the expenses covered in the UK.
I see, because I know a lot of people. I think a lot of people get it wrong when they think of, the whole surrogacy, and they think that, once you've given birth to that baby, you then get this big fat check in your hand and life's good and...
Oh, no.
So, no. So it's more expenses paid along the way, yeah. Like I said, that's your business. You don't have to go into too much detail with that, but is that more the case? Yeah,
so it's sort of to cover those, like, pregnancy things. So, like, the things that you wouldn't technically pay for if you wasn't pregnant. Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
so
makes
say
sense.
If, like, maternity clothes, you're paying for that, and obviously, like, transport, if you're going to clinic appointments at the hospital, things like that, really.
Do you have, like... enough availability, like with when you're doing the surrogacy, do you have enough availability to voice your own opinions if there's something that like you don't quite agree with, or if you just kind of got to go along with it?
I think it's sort of discussed in the agreement before you become a team, so obviously they'll know how much like the surrogate expenses are, so if that's like out of their budget, they obviously won't accept, they'll decline the offer. So it's sort of a lot of it's covered in the agreement, but like anything, like things pop up that you might not expect. Like I wasn't expecting to get gestational diabetes, so it's sort of just having those open, honest conversations with each other. And I don't know, something might pop up about being induced, which you might not have considered before, so it's just having those compromising, but also making sure that it's what you want as well.
So it's obviously mad important to like cover all angles, isn't it? Yeah.
So like, say if I don't know, the intended parents might be really against you doing any physical activity, so because they might think it might harm the child, the baby. So it's like, that's a bit of an extreme example, but it's sort of making sure, like there might be a surrogate. I don't think you're allowed to. I don't know if it's like a criteria, but like if you smoke,
of course,
or if the intended parents smoke, then the surrogate might want them to quit.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I think that's one of the questions, or even like drink alcohol. So the intended parents don't drink alcohol while you're pregnant, because it's just
because I know there's obviously there's certain people will only eat certain things. They'll be expected to only eat certain things. Is that the case with surrogacy as well?
So it's just having them conversations really. And like obviously like with vaccinations, like I'll just have everything. If it's like, if they want me to be vaccinated, I'll have it. I had like whooping cough, I had the RSV one, I had the COVID one, I think.
Like a pincushion, mate, come on.
Flu jab, or like I have all of it.
Wow. Okay, so for any listeners out there that might listen to this podcast, because I'm starting to get the numbers on these podcasts now, and for like the listeners that might be interested in going through that journey or taking the first steps, what advice would you have for any of my listeners that are thinking about whether they would like to get into surrogacy?
Do you mean as a surrogate, or do you mean as like an intended?
Let's go with both, Beck.
Oh,
I mean, gosh. I know you haven't lived the life of the intended parent, but you've worked alongside them very closely. Firstly, we'll start with yourself, though. From your point of view, what?
Personally, I would join an organisation, or there's a lot to research. Like you might think, I've got my head around that bit, and then you think, oh my god, where's that come from? I've got to like get my head around that now. Like I'm trying to think what the saying is. I think it's not. What is it? It's not a sprint. It's a marathon or something along them lines. So you got to think, like obviously the baby's the goal people, but then actually there's so many little steps to get to that baby. It could take years.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I get that. Okay, so that's the pretty damn good advice to get to get alongside an agency. Like I suppose coming in as a first timer and doing it independently, surely there's going to be things that you're naturally going to miss out in there.
Yeah, it's just the community really, because like there's so many like the surrogates are just We just check on each other and just, yeah, it's just amazing.
Is that in the form of like WhatsApp groups and Facebook groups?
Facebook group.
It's all Facebook, is it?
Yeah, probably more Facebook group, which is, it's just great. And like if you've got like, I don't know, like it's something that you thought of and you're like, you just type it on the group and then you'll probably have like people, oh, you haven't thought of that. And it just,
yeah.
Like gets everyone talking,
Yeah,
and then
definitely.
you might think, oh yeah, I've thought of that, I've done this actually, and then it's an amazing community.
Was there anything was there any surprising moments in the surrogacy journey, like anything major happened that you didn't really expect or didn't really plan for mentally? I suppose getting the diabetes would be one.
Well, yeah,
it?
that was one. That
Jeez.
was bloody horrendous. That was. I can't really think, to be honest.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, I think I probably just forgot what pregnancy's like, because obviously my youngest is nearly 7 now, so it's been quite a few years since I've been pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was a bit of a shock, and obviously I'm a lot older.
Yeah.
So I'm classed as an old.
It's crazy that, isn't it? Class as an older mother. Jeez. It's crazy. How was the pregnancy like different to your own children, both physically and emotionally?
I don't know really. I'm trying to think, because I think when I was pregnant with my younger two, I was sort of studying, and obviously I went on leave like a lot sooner. So this time out, it was just, yeah, it was tiring. Like I just remember sleeping all the time.
You were studying alongside being pregnant?
With Amy and Hope, the little two, yeah, I'm sure I was.
You've always been a grafter, haven't you, Beck?
Yeah.
That's one thing that, we have always said about you. Like, you've always got your eye on the goal and you just go for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like that about you, Beck. It's good. It's a good quality to have. It really is.
Crazy one.
Crazy quality. All right, okay. So many times, like from the research that I've been doing before we started this podcast, many times, from what it seems, intended parents ask if there's certain gifts or treats that surrogates like. If that was, you're thinking, yeah, I've missed a trick here. I was going to say, if that was the case for you, what kind of things would you request? Or would it be what you had, like experiences with the children and stuff like that?
I wouldn't really class them as gifts. Like the boys, they'd like certain times they'd like send me a bunch of flowers, or they'd send me like just little bits. Or when we used to meet up, they'd like get me something. It's like a thoughtful little thing. Like they got me a cat scarf the once, and they got me like a surrogate mug. Just like little tiny things. Just being just thoughtful things.
Yeah,
they weren't massive. And then obviously you have like team days, so we'd go and meet at the Cotswolds and go for like a little picnic of a park, and yeah, they're just really just so thoughtful. Like they like probably knew me and the kids better than my own family with things, and like they got how the kids all are, and like their needs, and like Will needs prepping sometimes. If he's going to somewhere new, he likes to know how long it's going to take, what we're going to do, when we're going to be home, just little things like that. And they
understand that, do they?
Yeah, and just like foods as well. Obviously Amy and Hope are really fussy eaters, so they'll make sandwiches or stuff that's like that they know they'll eat, and it's just lovely, really.
Makes a difference, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Excuse me. Okay, so I think it's nice that like before this journey, it's like they were effectively two strangers, and now they're a solid part of your family.
Oh God, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think that's lovely.
It's mad, yeah.
It is crazy because if you hadn't have took surrogacy, then obviously your paths may not have crossed. Do you know what I mean?
I know. Well, they definitely would.
They definitely wouldn't have, would they? Let's face it. Yeah.
They live in an amazing world compared to me.
Okay, so in your opinion, then, Beck, what do you think makes a good surrogate? I mean, I'm going to say surrogate mother again, then, and you did mention that you don't really like that term.
That
so we'll go. What makes a good surrogate? We'll leave it at that, and we'll take the mother part out.
Oh God, I don't know really. Everyone goes into it for their own reasons, so I don't know really.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
I don't know.
Did the whole process take up a lot of your time? I mean, like, were there things that you missed out on with your own children for attending appointments and things like that?
I don't think so. No, maybe mum like me being tired and not having the energy and stuff. But I think the boys as well have just opened all our eyes to like experiences that I would never be able to provide them. Like we'd go down to London where they live, and they'd like plan a little trip. We might just go to like a museum, or they'll think, oh well, they'd plan like bits. So everyone would be okay, they won't be too tired, and just exploring London, which I would never do on my own because I have no idea where to start. So
yeah.
Okay,
so when you first began your journey, are you like legally bound into having this baby and giving the child, away, or do you have the space to change your mind at any time? Because let's face it, I'm sure like in all the years of surrogacy, there's got to have been some person out there that had a baby and gone, actually, I don't want to give this away. Like, are you in a legal document to give that child?
I think there might have been, but I don't really know the ins and outs of it. But I know the current law, it's where obviously I'm on the birth certificate.
Oh, okay, right.
Because I'm classed as the mother because I gave birth to her, even though I'm not the mother.
Okay,
yeah. But I know they're trying to bring a law in where the both intended parents go on the birth certificate
right
straight away. But it's like I don't really understand all the politics stuff. So yeah.
How does it work with like employment? Like for you, say if you were to take maternity leave and stuff, is that something you'd still be entitled to do?
Yeah. So as I gave birth to her, I'm entitled to maternity leave.
Okay.
So I think the intended parents have to use like the adoption policy or adoption leave for their the leave.
Right. Okay. Is that a less amount of time, do you think?
I don't know.
I suppose that side of it, that ain't for you to worry about, is
no.
it? You don't need to worry about that.
I just want to get myself off that birth
exactly
as quick as possible.
So the fact that you're not really too sure about that, we can't hold that against you because that's not really for you to worry about.
But the thing is, if I was married, if I had a husband, my husband would have to go on the birth certificate as well.
As if? Really?
But because I'm not married, obviously Lawrence goes on the birth certificate. So yeah.
Wow, that's really interesting. Really interesting.
Yeah.
If there was a moment that you were like unhappy to continue, who would be like your best possible advocate that you would go to for help? Would it be the company? I say the company, you know what I mean? Would it be the place that you went with initially?
Oh gosh, I'm assuming so, but I can't think why nobody would want to do that, so I don't know. What I'm assuming you'd. Gosh, I don't know.
No, that's fine. Okay, so now you've completed your first journey of surrogacy and obviously gave birth to this beautiful little girl. What's your feelings towards this little girl? Do you feel love or like a really strong bond?
I think I've never been an auntie, but I feel like it's like probably more like, when a good friend has a baby, it's sort of that like, oh, they're so cute, or like having cuddles, but then that's it really. There's nothing else there.
Yeah, that's kind of as far as it goes. Yeah.
I just love seeing updates and just seeing what the guys are up to with her and where they're going and how her weight's doing and how her feeding's doing and just things like that really.
I suppose that's really positive that you're in that mindset of kind of, you almost love her like an auntie would, because I suppose if you were on the podcast telling me that like your heart's been aching since the day that you let her go, it's I suppose you know what I mean, it's that's when it starts getting a bit messy, isn't it?
Oh, like no, couldn't even imagine, like oh.
Okay, now is there more pressure to keep on top of like your physical health and your intake of supplements when you're carrying someone else's child?
I don't think I did really.
Yeah.
I think when I found out I had the gestational diabetes, obviously that means like the baby puts on more weight and everything. So I had to really watch my diet. But it was quite a nice diet because I could have lots of fats and proteins, not many carbs, and I actually lost weight through it. So in a way, it was like a blessing in disguise. And I feel like I should sort of stick to that diet now, but I'm not. I'm drinking lots of coffee.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, it's good that you said you had them blood tests and everything seems like it was all right. So
yeah, so it's like I don't know if that would happen again, or I just don't know if it's just.
Are there more appointments to attend than like your average pregnancy?
So because I'm old, and it's IVF, and I have had previous pregnancies, then I'm classed as like high risk.
Okay.
So I think, and due to some of the policies at the hospital, had to have a few more scans because my eldest was classed as a small baby, so they just like to just check the growth of subsequent pregnancies. So yeah, I think it was more near the end of the pregnancy where like I seen the consultant a little bit more, but yeah.
Okay, so if you were to go down the surrogacy route again, is there anything that you would do different this time?
I don't know really. Just try and be a bit more active and be a bit more fitter. But then I think that first trimester can knock you about anyway, and you just want to eat loads of crap and you want to sleep.
Really? So no, I get that. So okay, I want to say firstly, Beck, like thank you for coming on and sharing your experience, because like some people, I guess they class it as private and it's no one else's business, and there's other people that want to put that story out there because if there was a lot of surrogacy perspective, I was going to say moms again then, but you'll slap my wrist, Beck, but I'm guessing there wouldn't be such a call for it, because when I was researching it, Beck, they were saying in the UK there's a bit of a lack of prospective surrogates.
Really?
Apparently so. That's what the internet was saying. So I didn't know if that was just a general thing throughout.
I don't know really, because obviously, like I said, there's the agencies which will obviously collect their statistics, but then there might be lots of independent people out there. So maybe it might even just be, I don't know, someone's sister being their surrogate for them, so like family members. So those statistics might not get picked up as such. I'm assuming, but obviously. Yeah,
I get that. Okay, so finally then, Beck, we've like touching on the surrogacy. Is there, if there's anyone that thinks that they would like to look into finding someone to have a baby for them, can you give me some advice for them?
For like the intended parents?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I don't know where to start. I think it's more sort of working out which type of surrogacy that would suit them, because I didn't touch before. There's like the gestational surrogacy, which is a GS, which is when it's like a host. So that's when you sort of use not the surrogate's egg. You can either use the intended mother's egg or an egg donor. And then you've got TS, which is like traditional or / straight surrogacy, when it's the surrogate uses her egg and then you just do like inseminations at home. So it's like it'll be the genetics of the surrogate, but obviously it's going to be for the parents anyway. So it's sort of working out which type of surrogacy they want to start their family, really.
Loads of different types, isn't there? I didn't realise how many types there were.
Yeah.
I literally thought it was what you've just explained as the traditional. That's what I thought there was. I didn't realise there was.
So when it's the surrogate's egg.
Yeah. I didn't realise there were so many different ones.
So it's like if they do host, so you'd go for a clinic. So it'd be like egg. What's it? Egg collection off, if it's like of the intended mother, and then the sperm has to go into quarantine to make an embryo, and then there's a process of where they freeze the embryo for the embryo and for it to sort of survive basically and be a good quality embryo. So it's very it's a
lot to get your head around, isn't there?
Yeah. And then you can have a known egg donor, so obviously you know who the egg donor is, or you can go to like an egg bank and have an anonymous egg donor, so you don't actually know who they are, but you just go by their characteristics to suit, say.
I was going to say, so you still get a small bit of information about, I mean, for example, what race they were.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and just like they write like a little profile as well, so that will just sort of give the couple like a feel for that person, and get like characteristics like blue eyes or whatever. So yeah, it's
because I'm guessing when they do that kind of procedure, they're looking to make the child look as if they fit into the family.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than having like, I don't know, a predominantly white family and then an African child coming in, they're going to look like the odd one out, aren't they?
Yeah. So that they have to protect the egg donor's like identity.
Okay.
But obviously all those characteristics are like a brochure, really. I'm assuming, so you can pick what you fancy, sort of thing. I
feel educated tonight, Beck. I can't lie. I feel educated.
You'll sleep well tonight.
I tell you what, I came into this podcast as a complete I didn't really know much. Like I said, I have took the time, Beck, to actually research it. I'm impressed. I was up till like 1 o'clock this morning just researching it. I mean, yeah, for someone to, Beck was like, "You getting ideas here?" I was like, "No, I'm just showing an interest because like I don't want to go into the interview and not have a clue completely even what it is." But yeah, I'm slowly starting to get my head around it. I feel a little bit more educated. So thank you for
brilliant.
that, Beck. But no, I just want to say, thank you for sharing your story. Hopefully someone out there can relate. And it may help them in making the decision because, let's face it, being a surrogate is potentially, it's a huge decision to make, and one that will either make or break you, I guess.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Do you know what I mean? Because not everyone's as strong as yourself and as focused as yourself as, this is what I want to do, and then after that, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Not everyone's like that, are they?
Well, yeah, but like, even I didn't know how I'd feel, even though you might have like set your head up like, yeah, it's not my baby, blah 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 blah, and then you might think, oh my god, like what have I done? I need like, but you just don't know, do you? But I definitely knew I did not want it.
And she means that in the nicest possible way.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want people to think, oh, she's a right cow, that Beck. She didn't even want it.
Yeah. God.
But no, I know that you mean that with love.
Yeah, oh yeah, lots of love.
Definitely. Okay, so as I said, thank you for coming on and talking about your story. Me. But you're not quite finished yet, Beck, right?
Oh, God.
I haven't prepared you for this one because this is the favourite part of my show, right?
Oh, no.
This is where I ask you just some fun questions, and I don't tell you the questions because I don't want you to prepare for them because they're quick fire questions. Like, please don't feel inclined to act, like, you can pass, okay? If there's something that you generally like, I don't know the answer to that, you can pass. And
Go on, then.
I'm not going to ask you when the Battle of Hastings was. Although everyone knows this, 1066, man. It's about the only date in history that sticks out in my mind. But anyway, I'm not going to ask you about the battle. You don't know when the Battle of Hastings was, did you?
I did know it was
you
then,
did know.
But I have no idea what it actually is.
But it's still a date that everyone seems to just remember, But I'm not going to test your history, Beck. This is just some fun, quick fire questions. Shit. And there's no answer is a wrong answer, okay? But this is my favourite part of the show.
Oh, God.
Come on then, Beck. Get yourself comfy. Here we go.
Right.
So, if you could have one superpower, what would it be and why?
Oh, God.
You're not on a time limit. Take your time to have a think. And you can pass it if you'd like.
That I could just do all my jobs, like, super fast. So I had, like, more time to myself.
That's a good one. I like that. Because everything's time consuming these days, isn't it?
It's horrendous.
I seen this meme the other day, and me and Beck were laughing about it, and it was like, being an adult consists of tidying around after other people and asking what you want for tea.
Oh, I hate that.
But my Beck, she's crazy. Like, I'll literally be having my first bite of my toast in the morning. She'd be like, "What are we having for tea tonight?" And I'm like, "Can I finish my breakfast first?" But I know that you ladies have to prepare for these things.
Well, you have to get out the freezer.
Exactly.
You have to go shopping.
I don't take this into account that actually all the planning of the day leads to.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, I like that. I like that superpower, just to kind of click your fingers, boom, all your housework's done, man. I like that. If you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Oh, I did.
Stay away from boys.
Well, no. Because I wouldn't be able to have babies then, would
exactly,
I?
True.
What's it? I can't think. I did think of this one a couple of months ago. What did I say? It's like, you're not the problem. It's like you're okay. It's everybody else.
I like that. I like that, Beck. And like, you know, obviously relating to some of the stuff you've been through in your life.
Yeah.
We won't go into that, but you know,
That's another
I know and you know,
podcast, that
but
is.
you know, it is another podcast completely, which would relate to so many different people. But you have to be a bit careful, I suppose. But yeah, some of the stuff that you've been through your life, you know, the fact that you're still sat here today, holding your head up and smiling, is amazing, and it shows how strong you are, Beck. So you know, just remember that. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so if you could, I like this one. This one we get some wicked answers. If you could have one piece of music that plays each time you enter a room, what would it be, Beck?
Well, it's my ringtone as well. Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne.
I would not have you down as an Aussie fan.
We just love that song. Like,
just that particular song, yeah?
Yeah, I've got it as my ringtone on
no
my phone.
way.
Yeah.
You've come a long way from being in that Playboy Corsa banging out the
Love Shy and then Dubs.
Absolutely, yeah, and the Clubland classics, and now you're telling me about Ozzy Osbourne. Jeez,
I'm liking Bad Wolves at the moment.
Yeah, they're decent.
Zombie,
yeah,
I'm loving that song at the moment.
No, that's cool. Tell me something that not many people would know about yourself.
Oh God. Oh wow, I was going to say I love planes, but I think most people know that.
Yeah, we know that.
I don't know. I just like a lot of rock music.
Bit of a rock chick now, are you, Beck? Yeah. Funny how things change, isn't it?
I know, like Evanescence.
I like Evanescence,
heavy rock. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I won't be shoving my music down your throat then. Okay, so right, what are we on next? What's the weirdest gift that you've ever received?
Oh God.
Something like, have you ever had something that you've been like, well, that is random?
Oh yes, a bin.
Okay.
For Christmas off my mother.
A bin.
Yeah, she bought me a bin.
Did she go to the effort of wrapping it up, putting a bow around it and that?
I think she did wrap it, you know.
Did she?
Yeah. And inside it was about 6 different types of hot chocolate sets.
Oh, okay.
That was it, yeah. It was just...
A bin with hot chocolate sets in?
Yeah,
okay,
6 different ones, because I like hot chocolate apparently, but not that much.
Yeah, you can have too much of something, can't you? I used to love. Do you remember the old sweets? They were called nibbles. They used to be in like a flour. They were like little chocolate nugget things, and used to get them from like the penny shops and that. They're quite old-fashioned sweets, but I used to love them. You know, Bekki went for Christmas. She was like, "Yeah, I'm going to get you a massive tub," and she got me a big fuck-off tub of these nuggets.
Have you had them all?
Mate, I yammed a lot of them in about 3 days.
No.
I can't even look at them now. Like, they've put me off for life.
For life.
I felt that sick.
You probably had a life worth of them.
Serious? Probably, yeah, probably. But honestly, they put me off for life now. I enjoyed them when I had them, but now I'm like, can't look at them, because they instantly make me feel like sick.
Yeah, you have too many.
Exactly, yeah. If you could start, this is a good one, if you could start a rumour about yourself, what would it be and why?
God, I don't know. I don't know. Something really boring, wouldn't it? I can't say I'm going to buy 7 cats, because I've already done that.
You've done that.
No,
Been there, got the t-shirt back.
God, I don't know. I've no idea.
If you were given the chance to explore the ocean or space, which one would you choose?
Oh, probably the ocean. Just because that space is a bit, I don't know, a bit unknown.
Yeah, but the ocean is as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. If you go too deep, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. I always say this to. We had this conversation with one of my last guests. It's like, it's amazing that there's things in the ocean, because obviously they've been down so far, but obviously they can't go down too far because of pressure and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like, there's probably there's probably so many different species that they've never even come across because they can't get down as deep in the ocean. So yeah, it's a good one.
But
I like that.
They found that little fish thing, haven't they, recently, with the sharp teeth, haven't they?
Talk to me. What's that?
I don't know. This little, well, it looks massive fish, but apparently it looks like a little fish.
Oh,
it's
right.
like, you know, the weird ones that have like spiky teeth and stuff.
Yeah.
They're really ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently one's come to surface in the Canary Islands.
As if.
Yeah.
I didn't know that bit.
I don't know what it's called.
There's a random bit of
yeah.
trivia for you. If you could instantly master any language, which one would it be and why?
Oh dear. This is really random, but probably shouldn't really say this. But the kids love Squid Games.
Yeah.
They love it.
Okay.
they even want to go to say, like South Korean or something.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
that language.
That'd impress him, wouldn't it? If you walked in the room and just bust out some Korean.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's so random. I know.
They're random questions, mate. This is what I need. I need random
I'd
answers.
impress them because they sing the Squid Game in that language, so it'd be like.
But then you'll probably end up speaking it the amount of time you're around the kids. You know what I mean? If they're doing it all the time.
Oh, I know.
My kids are like walking, talking memes. You know these memes on Facebook you get like the chap will do some little one-liner on TikTok and it's like dead funny, and like my kids will just walk around the house saying it all the time, and I'm like, you've said that about 400 times now.
No.
You're not bored of doing it. Honestly, they're literally walking, talking memes.
Oh God.
What is an unusual talent that you have? What can you do, Beck?
I can't do anything really. I don't know. I'm trying to think what. I'm boring.
You're not boring. You're far from boring. Don't be silly.
I have no idea.
Should we pass?
Yeah, I can't think of anything.
It's all good.
Really.
It's all good. If you could snoop through one person's private life, who would it be? It could be anyone in the world.
Oh.
I know. It's a good question. That.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Probably Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like Roman Reigns,
I love
don't
a bit of Roman Reigns. Yeah.
Love it. Okay, so have you this one? It's a bit cliche. This one is because I don't know what you believe and what you don't believe. But have you ever had a paranormal experience or an unexplainable experience that may not be paranormal, but you just can't explain why that's happened?
Oh. I've been to see a psychic. That counts.
That counts.
Like, she said stuff that was like true, or it hadn't happened, and then I tried to make it not happen because she said it, and then it ended up happening anyway. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then she mentioned this name that nobody would have known that it was going to be that name, and like she knew.
See,
so it's very weird.
I'm a bit of a believer when it comes to stuff like that, Beck. Like, yeah. I said this on the last podcast, so you know I am recycling this, but I want to tell you anyway. Like, obviously, as you know, Becky's brother passed away, and the necklace that he passed away in, her mum's got, and we took it to. We went to see Tony Stockwell, the medium Tony Stockwell off TV.
Okay.
He was at Oaken Gates Theatre, and he was doing like book signings at the end, and we jumped in the queue, and like we didn't have a book to sign, but we had an object that I wanted him to. I wanted to test him on it, like, do you know what I mean? So I was like, can you hold this and see what you can pick up from it? And he held it and he rubbed it and he did all this stuff for his eyes roll in the back of his head and all that, and I'm like, oh yeah, right, yeah, mate. He told us stuff that no one else would have known. Oh, wow. No one else would have known. Like, and how did he get that off rubbing a wooden necklace?
Amazing.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's crazy. So like, yeah, I'm like, how can you say that all these mediums are full of shit when he's picking up stuff like I just don't get it.
They can't even like Google you or look for you on social media to get like a feel, because like it's just that in that moment.
Because I often say that, like, I used to work with a few ladies that used to go to a medium in Iron Bridge, I think it was, and they'd book in with him and he'd be like, oh, what's your name? And they go, oh, blah blah blah, I'll see you Wednesday then. To me, between then and Wednesday, do a bit of research, mate. Everyone's on Facebook these days.
Yeah,
do a bit of research. But yeah, then that one particularly, where we were in the queue for Tony Stockwell, this guy's like world famous and didn't know that we'd be in the queue, and we pass him a wooden necklace and he rubs it and tells us things about the passing that only we knew. It just blew our minds, mate.
I know, it's amazing.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can remember being like 5 years old, 6 years old, maybe a little bit older, and my nan passed away, and I remember being in the room with my brother, because we used to have bunk beds, and like I rolled over, and when I looked again, my nan was walking towards me, and she had everything that she was cremated in, and yeah, and I don't know whether, like, thinking back now, I'm like, well, my nan passed away in front of me, like literally, like just passed away in front of me, and it was quite a traumatic experience at the time, because I'd never seen death or been around death,
especially at that age as well.
Yeah, and 1 minute she was there, next minute boom, she was gone, passed away, like, and that really fucked me up, mate. Do you know what I mean? It took me a while to get over that. So then, like, in hindsight, some people would go, well, because of the traumatic experience, maybe your mind was playing tricks on you. But I don't know, man. It just seemed a little bit real. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
But loads of people have sightings, and I'm like, how can it not be real when there's millions of people that have so many different sightings?
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's got to be something, hasn't there?
There's got to be, mate. There's got to be something. Okay, have you ever... Right, we know about this wrestler that you go on about, Billy Roman Reigns, right? Have you ever had a celebrity crush, and who? Come on, give me a different one.
Oh, what's that other one called? Oh, I don't know his name.
Wrestler Benny Chance Beck.
Chayton
Tam.
Yeah,
what's his name?
Chayton Tam. I don't know.
I can't remember.
Magic Mike bloke, innit?
Oh, him. Yeah.
I can't remember his name. And then The Rock as well. He's a bit alright.
Yeah.
He's a bit old, isn't he?
There ain't many girls that don't like the Magic Mike, is there? Come on.
Oh, Tom Hardy as well.
Oh,
he's just a bit short though. Yeah.
Excuse me, what's wrong with short people?
I don't like short.
Oh, fuck you. It's a good job I'm married to your best mate, then, isn't it? Got a problem with short people, have we, love?
Yeah. Need them really tall.
What is one thing that you could change about society today?
Oh God. Just to be kind, for God's sake.
Yeah, not everyone's got them morals, have they?
Complete arseholes out there, I tell you.
I know, yeah.
I hate people.
You're not a people person.
No, not arseholes anyway. Oh my God.
That's the beauty with animals, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You come through the door and they're just like, oh, you're here.
Oh,
give us a
they
hug.
really are. Yeah,
I know,
definitely.
I know.
Just feed me.
Yeah, you don't get two-faced with animals, man.
Yeah. Just feed me anything.
Absolutely. Right, then. So, and the last question on this then, Beck. What is the worst decision you've ever made?
I don't really have any, because every shit decision, which I made quite a few, have always educated me.
Yeah.
And taught me stuff. So I'm just thankful for even all the shit that I've been through. Like, if that hadn't happened, like, stuff wouldn't have happened. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
I believe.
I get that, because, like, yeah, I suppose it's overall it's made you a stronger person, hasn't it?
Yeah, because like if I hadn't met a certain person, I wouldn't have the kids, and I wouldn't have the other kids, and then I wouldn't have done this and that. So yeah. And
that brings us round to like everything happens for a reason again, doesn't it?
Oh God, yeah, 100%. Even if it was like the shittest thing.
Yeah.
It's like, if that hadn't have happened, like you would have gone down a different path.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, well that brings us to the end of the random questions. I hope they weren't too bad for you.
No, they were quite interesting.
You're still sat here and you haven't shot out the door, so we're winning. We're winning. But once again, Beck, thank you so much for joining me. If anyone wants to check out any information related to surrogacy, can you think of any just quick fire websites off the top of your head that they can go to?
There's the Facebook groups. I can't remember what it's called now. Like Surrogacy UK group. But I can't remember the exact name, but there's loads of groups, and it's quite difficult when you Google it, but obviously Surrogacy UK is like the website, the organisation I'm part of, so that will probably give you more information anyway. So
brilliant. So head over to there if you are at all interested. And if you're not interested, I hope that you enjoyed listening to another guest on the Dribbz Talks podcast. As always, give it a like, give it a share, give it a subscribe, because we're really trying to build this platform. Shouts to everyone that has stuck with me through the drum and bass, through the hip hop, and now in the podcast as well. You guys are real ones. And yeah, big up to everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dribbz Talks podcast. We're bringing it to you real, raw and uncut. A safe place where we can talk about anything and everything. So like, share and subscribe. But most importantly, keep it locked. Everything's gonna be just fine. Everything's gonna be okay. Just take one step at a time. That's what the leaflets say.